Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So today is another just talking about a topic type video. I don't really know what to call these types of videos, but sitting here scaling and talking about something. So today a post came up on the homepage of the old school website, and it is about achievement diary rewards. So it's not about the requirements or like the list of tasks or anything, but it's about the rewards that you can get from all the different task sets. And they have listed out every single benefit of each level of each rewards, so the easy through the elite ones. So there's 4 different tiers of each reward, and there are 11 different rewards for 11 different regions of the game. So a lot of them look really cool, and some of them look a little bit overpowered, and some of them are sort of questionable. So I sort of separated them into 3 categories based on those 3 criteria, and I only really wrote out the ones that I think are actually going to be very significant to the game, because there are all sorts of different things that are just sort of minor things that might be useful in some situations, but probably won't really sway too much of the game in either direction. But first of all, there are a few things that I do think are kind of overpowered and should be either not added at all or significantly reduced in how their effect works, I guess. The first thing is that you get XP lamps, and XP lamps I'm not necessarily opposed to. It's just it depends how they implement them, because at the moment you can get, like, for completing all 4 sets of each achievement diary, you get 75k like worth of XP lamps. So that if you do all 11 of them, that's 825k experience that you can put on any skill at level 70 or higher, which is a lot of XP. I mean, that is kind of crazy. And I mean, for one thing, like, if you use all that on runecrafting, that's 825k runecrafting XP. That's like 30 plus hours saved in runecrafting, and you can like boost up to 91, because 91 definitely will be a requirement for Karamja. You could easily boost up to 91, get all the tasks done, and basically skip a couple of levels before 91, which is a little bit much, I would say. But that being said, I don't think the XP lamps are necessarily a really bad thing. I just think that they shouldn't be like allowed to be used all at once, because another thing that it does is it would really mess up records, as far like XP gain records, because you never really know whether somebody did the record legit or whether they used a whole bunch of bonus XP. Because I mean, if somebody were to do that, like use all of their XP on runecrafting and then do a 30-hour runecrafting, they could basically get like a 60-hour runecrafting, which is kind of insane. So I think that would be a little bit overpowered. I just think they should make it so you can only use maybe like 1 set of lamps per day, or maybe even like per few days or something like that, so that it won't be too overpowered and it won't mess with records too much. But yeah, the next thing is from the Ardoin Elite tasks. One of the rewards is getting 50% more marks from the Ardoin course. This just seems way too high of a number. I would say maybe like 10%, 20% or something, but 50% more marks is a lot more marks. I don't know, I mean, maybe they do want to make marks more common, and maybe they want to make amylase a little bit easier to get or something, because it is a little bit difficult to get, but that seems like a lot, so I don't know, I would say that's kind of overpowered. Another thing is 20% increase to XP from pay dirt. I really don't think that Motherlode should be buffed as far as XP rate at all, because it's AFK mining, and mining is really not supposed to be a skill that's that easy. And if they bring up Motherlode to XP rate similar to like AFK fishing and woodcutting and stuff, then it makes mining, it devalues mining a lot, and I think that's a little bit too much. And there's also the Varrock armor, which affects mining as well, which I think would be enough if they're going to add something to mining. So I would say they should just get rid of that completely, or maybe bring it down to only like 5 or 10% increase XP from Motherlode mine. And the last one I have is listed as OP is Falador tree never gets diseased. I think that's a little bit crazy. I mean, if you use such super compost, you have a 1 in 8 chance of the tree dying. So it's not like it's not crazy, but at the same time it seems a little bit much. Maybe they could just make it so like you get a decreased cost on payments or something like that. I think that would be a little bit more balanced. I wouldn't say that one's as OP as some of the other ones, but yeah. Overall, I would say there isn't any rewards that's extremely OP, just sort of like in the range of like changing some things in the game. And then the questionable things is a lot longer. A lot of this stuff I'm not 100% sure whether I would like it or not in the game. It's hard to really say. They're talking about adding an herb patch on the Harmony Island. I mean, some of these things seem like they would be cool to have in the game. It's just you have to think about whether they would be too game changing or not, which isn't always a bad thing. It's just, devaluing achievements is always kind of something you have to look out for. So a new herb patch on Harmony would be kind of nice. At the same time, it may be a little bit much. It's hard to really say. 10% more Slayer XP in the Slayer Tower if you have the Elite Mauritania legs. That's kind of a lot. I mean, I'm trying to think of how many tasks you'd actually do in there. I mean, with the Nieve cave, I guess you probably don't really do many tasks in there anymore, but I guess that one, again, once again, not really that crazy, but maybe questionable. And the next one is the one that I find also pretty questionable is Varrock armor. The 10% chance of mining 2 ores, so basically it's a 10% increase to mining XP. If they also added the 20% increase to mining XP from pay dirt at Motherlode, it would be kind of a lot of increase to mining XP, and I think that would be a little bit too much. I mean, if they were just to do that for the Varrock armor 10% increase in XP rate, it would bring mining at the quarry up to maybe like 75k an hour at 99, which isn't crazy. For the amount of click intensive, or for how click intensive it is, I would say that it's fair to make it that XP rate. But I really don't think that Motherlode should be any faster than it is right now, because it shouldn't be fast if it's AFK and pretty easy to do. And next one is Slayer points from Nieve will be the same as from Duradel if you do the I think it's like the Candron area or something like that. One of the task sets, you'll get that as a reward. And I think kind of the point of Nieve is that she gives some better XP tasks, but you suffer a little bit in the points area, and it seems kind of weird to have 2 Slayer Masters that give the same amount of points. But once again, not a huge game changer, just sort of questionable as this list is. And the Crystal Halberd is actually going to be a reward for the Western Diaries from the Elites. You have an option of making Crystal Halberd similar to the Crystal Bow and Crystal Shield, and that it will degrade. And I would guess that you probably would be able to imbue it also. I'm not really sure if that's going to work that way or not, but the bonuses on it look pretty powerful. It has plus 118 strength. It probably does have the same speed as a halberd and everything. I'd have to look into it more to see what kind of DPS this thing could put out, but it probably will be a pretty powerful weapon and may end up being good for something like Corp. I'm not exactly sure if it'll count. Actually, it probably won't, but it does have a pretty high stab bonus, but I guess it probably wouldn't count as a spear. But I mean, in many situations it may be pretty powerful, but it probably won't be like best in slot in anything as far as dealing DPS. So questionable, but not really crazy OP. And then there's a lot of like free items you can get, like pure essence and flax that you can collect daily. This would be a really big deal for Iron Man especially. It would make a lot of things a lot easier. I mean, if you just collect your daily flax and pure essence for quite a long time, you can end up building a lot of them and saving yourself a lot of time. It may end up just being a good thing. I mean, I wouldn't really mind that too much, because picking flax and mining rune essence isn't really fun. But you know, it would change the game a little bit, especially for Iron Man. And the next one is actually Simon Templeton, who's the guy at the Agility Pyramid. Will be able to buy noted items. So you do, like, if you do all of 99 thieving or all of 200 mil thieving at Pyramid Plunder, and then you bank as many of the artifacts as you can, you could potentially end up bringing all of those at once to Simon Templeton and getting a large amount of GP. So it has the potential to just bring a ton of gold into the game, which isn't really ever a good thing, to have a lot of gold coming into the game. So in that situation, I don't think it would really be that great of an idea, just because of the amount of GP that would be coming into the game. It's just it's never really a good thing to have GP coming to the game, because it just ends up inflating prices and everything. And at the bottom of the list, I have 50% increased fire making XP from burning shades. I don't really know what kind of effect this would have. I don't know if it would actually be good or not, but either way, it would be difficult to collect supplies for doing this, but it's possible that it would be a really, really fast experience once you actually get the supplies. I don't really know if it will be or not, but it's possible. I just haven't looked into the XP that you can get currently and what kind of XP it would look like. But it's potentially good and potentially not. It's hard to really say. And then lastly, all of the rewards that I think are going to be really awesome and I'm really glad to see coming into the game. First is 2 new spells that you can get from the Elite Seers task, or not Seers, Fremenate tasks. And those are 2 new lunar spells, so that's Tan Leather and Recharge-Dstone. I'm hoping both of those use nature runes, but I'm sure at least Tan Leather will use nature runes, which is going to be really good. Another really useful spell that uses nature runes, and it'll mean that getting tanned hides for crafting will be easier, and you won't have to end up using a tanner and stuff like that. So overall, a lot of people have been asking for this for a long time, and I'm really glad to see that coming into the game, and potentially it could even be good for profit and magic experience. So good all around, and it's good sync for nature runes once again, which is never a bad thing. Then Recharge-Dstone is just convenient for rune crafting and stuff like that. You recharge your glories at the bank. Wouldn't make a huge difference, but it would just be nice. And all sorts of different teleports, like the Ardy Farm and the Ardy Monastery, which would be, I just really like those. I mean, they're convenient and they're not like a huge, excuse me, a huge deal, but they're just nice to have. The next one is actually probably one of my favorite things in this entire thing, besides the 2 spells. That is Herbalist. The Herbalist in Narda, I think her name is Zahur. She will be able to make unfinished potions for you from the herbs and vials of water for a small fee. And I just think that's awesome, because I'm thinking, like, I've been thinking about getting 99 herbal and how annoying it's going to be to have to like hire people to make unfinished potions for me. Either that or just have to make them myself and be really inefficient. So being able to do that would be awesome. But that being said, it would maybe devalue a lot of people's time spent, like spending money on other people to do it and possibly getting scammed and stuff like that. So I'd feel bad for those people if they felt like their time was devalued, but it would also be really nice to see. And then once again, Cabbage port, really useful teleport. And being able to change the Lyre to teleport to Waterbirth, Yantiso, and Natisnot, all of those would be really nice. I remember you used to be able to do that on RS3 with that set of tasks, they were called, and it was just really useful to have, especially to Natisnot for the, like, you can use the furnace on there, you can use yaks, and back then you could do Arctic pines and stuff. So there's actually some stuff to do there, but it was annoying to get there. Noted Dagonoth bone drops, awesome. That's going to be really good because there will actually be some Dagonoth bones in game. When I did 99 prayer, I was buying Dagonoth bones the whole time that I was buying dragon bones, and I managed to buy like maybe like 3 or 4k, if even that much, Dagonoth bones in the time that I bought like 40k dragon bones. So Dagonoth bones are actually the best experience for prayer in game, but they're just so like hardly ever banked and stuff, because they're not, like, you have to only get them from the DKs, and you can only bank maybe like 10-20 per trip tops, and trips take a while, so hardly anyone really collects them in large quantities. But doing this would make them actually a viable way to train prayer, and it would be like similar style to frost bones, but less XP and a little bit less expensive, but still better than dragon bones. And just a small one, shortcut from the Miscellanea dock to the Etceteria dock. It's just a useful thing. And actually, another one that I kind of noticed and thought might be interesting is adding a bank deposit box in the crafting guild. So this may actually be useful for like mining gold and mining silver even and stuff like that in the crafting guild. And also, I mean, you could mine clay and make soft clay and then make it into pottery. I don't know if anyone would actually ever do that, but having a deposit box in the crafting guild could be interesting, and I always kind of wished that there was, because it's a good place to mine and it has a lot of convenient stuff, but it's just nowhere near a bank, so it's really not useful. But having a deposit box in there would be pretty cool to have. So that's everything that I have on my list. There may have been a few things that are pretty significant that I may have missed on this list. Feel free to let me know your opinions in the comment section below. Overall, my feeling about it is that nothing is really crazy besides a couple things, and I think hopefully those will be adjusted. Overall, the only thing I'm really worried about is just the mining skill being devalued a little bit too much, because with all those changes, Motherlode has potential to be like 50 to 60k XP per hour, which just seems a little bit too much for what it is really. And I think that, I mean, Quarry will always still be the best XP, but I think that it should be significantly better than doing Motherlode for the amount of intensity you have, and like hardcore skilling you have to do to be getting the XP rates from the Quarry versus what you have to do to get XP from doing the Motherlode. And other than that, nothing is really too terrible, I wouldn't say. I think I'm fine with the Varrock armor. I just think they shouldn't have that reward for 20% increased pay dirt from the Motherlode mine. And the 50% mark seems a little bit too much also. But for the most part, I'm really excited about the achievement diaries, and I think there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff. And it's also just a really cool way to show off your skills and everything. And actually, the Ardoin Cloak will actually be a useful cape for its stats as well, because it's going to have +6 prayer from the elite one, +6 prayer, +6 stab, and +6 range. So I think it's going to be best in slot for prayer, and really it's going to be a very useful cape, and it's also just nice looking. So skill capes as far as like prayer bonus will be kind of a thing of the past after that. But overall, yeah, looking really cool, and excited to see more information about it. And they should be coming out early next year, so hopefully January of 2015. So we've got around 1 to 2 months before these things are coming out to prepare our stats and everything like that. I'm going to be working hard and working on my different stats to try to get up to the requirements that I'm speculating. I know that one of them will be to use the skill cape emote, which quest cape is included in that. I tweeted at John C, and that's been confirmed. If you go to check on my Twitter, you can see that. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say in this video, guys. Feel free to leave your opinions below, and any other rewards that you think are pretty notable or important that I may have missed in this video. And I'll have a link to the dev blog in the description so you guys can read through everything. It's pretty long, I just didn't want to go through every single thing in detail, and I figured it'd be better to just sum up the things that are really going to be significant changes to the game. So that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Later, guys.